And here's Ellen DeGeneres.
Hello guys, I'm so glad you guys could all make it here today. Today we have a very special surprise and also a very important topic we're going to be speaking on today. We've challenged some of you guys' favorite celebrities to read the book of Hamlet from William Shakespeare. And we've also invited them here today so they can share their insight and knowledge upon the book. Alright, thank you all so much for coming today. I do understand the weather's been a little rainy. When I first met our first guest, honestly, I did not know what to expect. After all, we do come from very different worlds. As I got to know him and got all up in his grill, literally, I really grew to appreciate his warmth, intelligence, talent, and life story. I like him so much that I wanted you all to get to know him. Of course, I'm talking about Wayne Carter, or as I like to call him, Wheezy, or as you guys probably know him, Lil Wayne. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So nice to have you here today. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Anything from my homeboy, girl, homie, Ellen.
So, what was your take on Hamlet, Lil Wayne?
Well, what really struck me was Hamlet's first soliloquy.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
Oh dear Hamlet, you can't go off to Wittenberg and continue studying. You have to stay here, near us.
I shall do my best to obey you, madam.
Come on, my lady. Dinner's awaiting.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, the honor itself to a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his can against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, and flat and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fiat ante fiat. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed, things rank and gross in nature, pauses it merely that it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not to so excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to the satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven. Visit her face too roughly, heaven and earth must I remember, why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Reality, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married almost wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor can it come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Interesting. Can you elaborate on why it strikes you?
Well, in this soliloquy, the imagery of a neglected Garden of Eden that's overgrown with things rank and gross in nature connects the deceitful nature of Claudius with the cunning essence of the serpent. In the story of creation, the deception of the serpent leads to the ultimate downfall of all of mankind. Likewise, in Hamlet, the treachery of Claudius results in the suffering and tragic death of most characters.
Yes, of course, Lil Wayne, you do say this, but all tragedies end in death. What did you expect?
True, but in both stories, the weeds of the garden overgrow to strangle the lives of many. This illusion reveals Hamlet's distraught in such an incestuous act, so much so that he magnifies its horridness to the treacherous sin of Adam and Eve.
Now it's time for a short break.
Next time on Keeping Up with Kardashians.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Literally, what just happened?
You need
Let's
to
watch
that
it again.
His affections are only temporary. It will fade after a minute. not a second later.
Not a second more?
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, but his love is limited by the wishes of the Kingdom of Denmark. Do not forget that he has responsibilities to the royal family. Do not fall into satisfying his lust. Do not lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open. The cheeriest maid is prodigal enough if she is unmasked her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart, but good, my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst the puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of diligence treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave. Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
It is in my memory locked, and you shall have the key of it.
Farewell. Marry well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself, as it behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Pooh, you speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord. What should I think?
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to, go to.
Ah, hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Believe so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk, than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers.
I shall obey, my lord.
Ay, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what is to a bard than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
Indeed, I made you believe so.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Would thou be a breeder of sinners? Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in's own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
OMG, like he totally broke her heart and I can't even believe it. Like,
No way, he broke her heart?
yeah, but she totally deserved it.
Dang, that is so messed up. Like, literally, what did she do to deserve something so rude? You're so wrong.
Okay, like, hear me out. Yeah, so like her brother and her dad told her to stay away from Hamlet, which, totally makes sense. But she didn't even listen to them. And she did promise to, and no, she just totally disobeyed.
Yeah, literally, I understand the point where, she promised something. And if you promise something, then I think you should really stick to your promise. And this also reminds me of that one time, I think I went to church, a month or two ago, and the priest talked something about the Garden of Eden.
Oh yeah, this when Eve disobeyed God's orders, and she was totally rude about it, and that's what I think led to her condemnation.
Yeah, if you disobey God, then that is kind of wrong, and that is so true.
Yeah, so the same thing totally happened to Ophelia. So she didn't listen, and that's that caused her downfall.
causing her downfall, just like Eve when she listened to the serpent. Oh my God, you're so smart, Courtney.
I told you, I know. Okay, but yeah, like, it was Hamlet's fault too. Like, he was what brought her down. Like the snake the snake convinced Eve, and like that he told her that he loved her, and so she would like lose her like purity to him. And then
no way,
yes.
she would do such a thing. But Ophelia is such a sweet person. Like,
no, and like he was so rude. Like
literally, Ophelia is she's just the sweetest person ever. And why would he even do that to her?
No, it was totally rude, like, literally.
He was so rude, and he, like, left her and even called her a prostitute. Hamlet is such a snake. Hello, welcome back to the Ellen Show. So our second guest today will be the very sentimental, yet very analytical Drake. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. Have a seat. Now, let's get down to the real business. So, tell us about your experience upon reading Hamlet by William Shakespeare.
Well, one of my favorite characters is Claudius.
Calm down, folks. This might not be a very popular opinion, but there must be a reason for him to like Claudius. Right, Drake? Tell us why this man that rose to power in a very fast manner is your favorite character.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Claudius is one of the realest out there. He went 0 to 100 real quick.
So, Drake, what you're trying to say is that this man rose to power in a very quick manner?
Real quick.
Real quick?
There you go, Ellen. You got it. Now back to what I was saying. Claudius is a very persuasive person, and he used this to manipulate everyone into thinking that a snake bit King Hamlet while sleeping in the garden. This deceit was formulated in order to get to the top, because if everyone knew he was a murderer, he would not be a king. Do you remember the scene in Hamlet where the ghost reveals what truly happened to King Hamlet?
Oh yeah, folks. In fact, we do have some actual footage of this scene. Let's take a look.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold, whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh God!
Revenge his foul, most unnatural murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Hates me to know that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Leith wharf. Wouldst thou not stir in this? Now Hamlet here, 'tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Well, all this talking about gardens and snakes really reminds me of what happened in the book of Genesis, which all of you guys know may correlate it to the Garden of Eden. What do you think, Drake?
I don't know if you guys know, but I'm half Jewish. Therefore, I am very familiar with the story of the Garden of Eden. Just as Claudius manipulated the people in the kingdom of Elsinore, the serpent convinced Eve to eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The actions of Claudius resemble the actions of the serpent.
How? How does that resemble that?
Well, the serpent convinced Eve to take a bite out of the forbidden fruit, which in turn poisoned her soul. This is exactly like when Claudius poisoned the late king Hamlet. The setting also proves to be an allusion to the Garden of Eden, in that he committed the murder in the place's garden.
That makes sense.
Underlying both evils is a greed of power. The serpent desired to overthrow the power of God, just as Claudius desired to overthrow the throne of King Hamlet. Both characters usurped power through corrupt means.
Now that you guys have heard from Drake and Lil Wayne, let's see what one of the sweetest ladies has to say. So, Amachi, do you believe that women are frail?
No.
Let me prove it to you, Amachi. There has been a recurring theme throughout literature regarding women. Women are always seen as inferior to men, and they are always manipulated. Most of the time, the woman is persuaded with the promising goal of achieving and gaining an earthly desire. The sweet words that poison the thought process of an innocent woman oftentimes drives her ambition to a high level of negligence and ignorance, causing her to act in a way that is morally wrong. As we mentioned earlier, in the story of creation, the serpent approached Eve first and manipulated her into eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The woman was the first to break. As Hamlet also emotionally stated in his first soliloquy, "Frailty, thy name is woman."
No!
Amachi, you still don't believe me? Well, do you remember that part in the story of creation when Adam and Eve felt shameful for disobeying God? In Hamlet, Shakespeare magnifies his shame in the form of Ophelia's death. She felt so much shame for reaping the consequences for disobeying Polonius and Laertes, that she committed suicide by throwing herself in a river. Unfortunately, the author couldn't make it here today, but he was kind enough to send in a video.
Hello, my name is William Shakespeare. I'm sorry, but I'm a little nervous. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to read Hamlet and sharing your insight on the book. I'd be surprised if you lads got any lower than an A. Is it possible for them to get any lower than an A, Amachi?
No.